think you are.
You're funny. All right. Whew. All right. Welcome to the Keep Rising Pod. Today we are joined by Devendra Soman, Soman,
Yeah.
of Nisarga Biotech. We are actually in Satara. This is midway between Pune and Goa
Yes.
in the state of Maharashtra.
Yes.
And if anyone is unfamiliar with that, just think about Mumbai. We're about 3.5 hours south of Mumbai. Is that fair enough?
5.5.
5.5 hours. Well, I was sleeping for 2 of the hours, so 3.5 hours of awake time. So what brings us here today is a combination of, I think, important factors that I want to highlight. We met at NBJ 2025
Yes.
just a couple of months ago.
Yeah. In July.
Just in July. Yet I feel like, and this is something that is important. I feel like I'm part of his family, and he's been nothing short of an exceptional host. So thank you very much for making me feel that way.
No, and thank you for coming all the way, because I know you've had a lot of travels in India, and just the fact that you decided at the last minute after we spoke that you would come and stop here, it's a pleasure to host you.
It's my responsibility. I've started this You Go Beyond effort largely because I saw through my nearly 20 years of multinational distribution business experience, the relationships that you build with your vendors, they are far more, I think, valuable and long term than anything you could ever do with a customer. Customers actually will come and go. They turn over ownership. People can, start a product. They can be popular, and the next thing you know, the company is gone. But the vendor relationship that we establish really allows you to have a strong connection to the industry. So when I met you, one thing that you said to me when I met you at NBJ, what you had told me about your company was that you guys are experts at CO2 extraction.
Right.
So we'll come back to when we met and that a little bit later, but I want to dive right into the CO2 extraction. Today we got a nice, we got to visit multiple facilities, and then we got to visit the CO2 extraction plant. You want to give me a little bit of a rundown on your CO2 extraction plant and what's being done there, and why it's important today in an era where efficacy, absorption, bioavailability are being emphasized?
Well, so there are a lot of companies in India doing CO2 extraction, but the place where we specialize is we do about 150 different botanicals using CO2 extracts. And the reason why CO2 extraction is getting the importance in the industry today is because people want a residue-free, a very clean, and a very bioavailable product. So with CO2 extraction, you're extracting the entire lipid profile of a botanical, and the human body, or any cell for that, living cell for that matter, has something that Ayurveda describes as a cellular intelligence. And so when you're giving botanicals that are full spectrum, that have a lot of active compounds in them, the body, the cell, has an easier time recognizing that compound as something essential or as food, and then it's absorbed faster, it's metabolized as food, and then it's spread through the body as nutrition, giving faster results. So in an era where we are looking for super pure botanicals, no residual solvents, no heavy metals, and high bioavailability of actives, I think CO2 extraction is the technology of the future when it comes to botanical extracts.
Yeah, with heavy metal contamination, just about anywhere you go now, in India, even China, and Southeast Asia, you have issues with the soil. There's a considerable amount of arsenic that is there, and so from a standard extraction standpoint, these are factors that affect ability to sell into the U.S. market, for example.
Of course.
They have especially with Prop 65, very demanding thresholds.
Yes.
And so CO2 extraction is a way to overcome that hurdle.
Of course. Well, CO2 is a non-polar solvent, So basically anything that is water soluble is not extracted in CO2 extraction. And all the heavy metals are usually water soluble. That's one of the reasons why if you test water in different areas, you can find different levels of heavy metals based on the groundwater, the soil. And with CO2, you're not extracting any of those. So even if you have a very heavy metal rich raw material, the extract that you get has heavy metals in part per billion levels, or it doesn't sometimes have heavy metals at all.
Okay. One of the things that we were able to check out today was the vast portfolio of ingredients, herbal ingredients that you're able to offer. So it's a full portfolio of Ayurvedic ingredients.
Yes.
How many ingredients are you involved with?
So we do about 150 ingredients using CO2 extraction, and then we also do full spectrum extracts, which is a combination of CO2 extract and conventional powder extracts that everyone in the industry is using, and we do about 85 of those. So anything that can be extracted using CO2 or has a lipid profile in it, we do, especially for Indian botanicals, we do using CO2 extraction.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to kind of go back a little bit. You gave us a really strong look into the history of the company, the founding of the company by your dad. You want to share that with the people?
Yeah, sure. So my dad is a civil engineer by education, and he used to work in high pressure water pipeline design. So he was in touch with a lot of farmers because he was working on a local dam project, and he saw with his own eyes what use of chemical fertilizers and chemical agricultural practices were doing to the soil and doing to the families in turn, because what was passed down from 10, 15, 20 generations was gone in less than 2 generations because of overuse of chemicals in farming. So when he decided to start the business, he wanted to do something for organic agriculture and using botanical actives as the main ingredient in those botanical products. And so that's how he started his journey in '93. For the first 5-6 years, we were using essential oils and oleoresins outsourced from other companies, but there used to be a lot of variance in the quality of those botanicals, and in turn that would change the quality of our agricultural products. So in '98, my father decided that it's time that we backward integrate and start doing extraction ourselves. And so he started developing the machine. So all the machines that we have are built in-house. They are indigenous to our own company. And so we started with a 5-liter plant, and today we have 200 liter, 150 and 125 liter, giving a total annual capacity of about 550 tons of raw material that we can process using CO2 extraction.
Yeah, that's that's an interesting journey to start from the agricultural side and then evolve and then start vertically integrating. So that's '98, and then I know today we met and we had a great conversation. He visited the U.S. and made his first sale in extracts, botanical extracts, in 2001.
Right.
It was like a half or 1 kilo of a product, and he was an early adopter of PayPal.
Yes.
So I mean, I think that's important because you can't be in this business without being able to adjust and innovate.
Exactly.
I mean, even from the commercial side.
Of course.
Right, being able to, it was not an easy time to receive foreign exchange money in the Indian economy. So for an Indian vendor to accept U.S. payments through PayPal, that caused some problems at the local bank.
Yes, a lot of things used to happen where people, especially in the early 2000s, checks were the style. Like not everyone had POS, credit card machines, and people would write checks to each other. And he would get a lot of check payments in the US, which we had no idea how to process because we couldn't have a bank account in the US. But now things are easier and much better, thanks to the entire world basically going digital and changing. So we're happy for it.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny that his bank was getting mad at him that, like, where'd you get this money from? The PayPal transaction. Although everybody knows Elon Musk, I think at the time he probably was still running PayPal.
Yeah, there's a good chance he
Early
was.
adopter. So here we are. We're at this beautiful backdrop. I can't help but tell you, I was feeling a little tired leading up to this convo,
Right.
but just the breeze and just the fresh air, I'm
good.
already feeling rejuvenated. We want to invite visitors to Nisarga Biotech. We want them to experience this beautiful town of Satara. And we have Supply Side Global coming up.
Of course.
And so that's going to be an opportune time for you to personally invite visitors. What do you have planned for Supply Side Global? What's your agenda? And give us a little bit of a teaser as to what they can expect when they come to your booth. And if you remember the booth number, you can tell us.
Yeah, of course. So we will be showcasing our technologies, our products under the company name New Axon Bioscience, which is a subsidiary that we have in the US. So local US companies don't have to deal with tariffs, imports, and all the documentation that has to be done to get products from India into the US. We'll be on the first floor at booth 641. And in case you have problems with sleep, you're depressed, you're anxious, you cannot concentrate, your stress levels are really high, do come and visit us, because we'll have a nice science-backed product to give to you, to show you the science. The study is already published in the US. If you can find it yourselves, great. If not, we'll be there at booth 641 all 2 days of the expo.
Yeah, and we'll probably find a way, when we post this, we'll probably find a way to put a link
Of course.
to
we
the
will.
studies.
Thank you.
And that's important, I think, the lead into that. So you guys have the CO2 extraction process. You guys are looking at making sure that it's a pure, cleaner extract.
Exactly.
But you're not stopping there. You mentioned today multiple studies have been done on multiple products.
Right.
You want to pick one that you want to highlight right now, and then obviously we don't want to give everything away right now. You gotta come to the booth and learn the rest of the story. But you want to pick one?
Well, so since I already talked about stress
Yeah.
and depression and anxiety, we have a combination of Bacopa and ashwagandha, and we did a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical study. And the study, like I said, is already published in the US. It reduces your cortisol by about 25%. It increases
Excuse me.
it increases your dopamine by about 42%. And we've done a POMS study on depression, sleep, and anxiety. And the results have been over what was the expectation when it comes to comparison with the placebo. So the results are fantastic. And we have the product available in multiple forms. So we have a shot, we have gummies, we have effervescent tablets, we have internal capsules or tablets. So with all the extracts that we do, we try and ensure that multiple formats of delivery can be designed using the products that we have. Now
Right.
it's a full spectrum extract,
Yeah.
but we also are trying to make the same product into a liquid extract. So anyone who wants an orally dissolving tablet, or anyone who wants like a thin film with the actives, they can still use that product, and it doesn't have to be a powder at that point.
You mentioned that one of your customers in the U.S. is Tattvas Herbs,
Yes.
and they're based out of Seattle. We looked at some of the reviews, and we'll put a link to this as well. You learn a lot when you start looking at reviews, product reviews, and there's a hospital in Seattle that's very complimentary.
Of course.
You want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, so we have a turmeric extract that is 64 times more bioavailable than curcumin 95 plus black pepper extract combo, which has become the industry standard today. The reason why most oncology or cancer centers will not use curcumin 95 is because it not only is not absorbed in the body, but people who have cancer also sometimes have compromised guts, and they cannot take black pepper extract. It's too harsh for their gut to handle or their body to digest. And curcumin 95 on its own also inhibits liver enzymes. So it blocks the absorption of other drugs that are taken with curcumin 95. So what we have done is through research and through understanding of turmeric as a botanical from the lens of Ayurveda, we figured that you have to give a full spectrum extract of turmeric. And so we designed a turmeric that's not 95%, it's 45% curcuminoids. And it has 5% turmerones, which is the lipid soluble side of the turmeric. So this combination basically helps the body understand that whatever is coming in is the turmeric eaten as a food, but the active level concentration is medicine grade. And so you get high bioavailability, you get faster absorption in the body, and you get good results. So when we shared this data with Tatwa's Herbs and in turn with the cancer centers in Seattle, they were open to trying the curcumin product that we have. And they did some testing. They found that the patients are accepting it well. None of their chemo or radio treatments were being hampered because the patients were using the turmeric that we were giving them. And they found that problems like nausea, weight loss, appetite loss were also going down. And so they were ready to start using the product. And Tatwa's, being in Seattle, was their brand of preference because he was locally based and he could supply a finished product to them that was also made in a US CGMP facility. And so that's the product. And I mean, it was supposed to be a surprise, but we also have a hangover guard that has the same turmeric product in it. And if you are going to party hard in Vegas, do stop by booth 641 because we'll be giving out the hangover guard as free samples too.
Okay, so there's a reason to go to 641. Not only learn something about this company's manufacturing efficiencies, but also get some samples. Now we're going to be having the supply side closer event, What's Up with Subs, on October 30th. And that's also going to be an event where you'll be attending.
Of course.
So
yes.
that'll be a great opportunity to spend some time with Devendra. When we met at NBJ, we talked about how the opportunity to meet C-suite professionals, to talk about organizational culture. We're not just creating deals at a product level.
Right.
We're trying to blend cultures.
Of course.
So I think what brought me to your facility, I was planning this trip to India anyway, but I mentioned to you that, is there any way to visit you? And you made it possible to do that. What do we want to tell someone who is on the fence, working with India? What's your experience right now being in India, understanding that there's a mix of characters in the space? How do we win an overwhelming support for the industry, from the industry?
So I've lived in the U.S. for about 5 years, from 2010 to 2014, and I lived in a small city in Midwest Florida, and everyone I met knew about India, but they knew about India through the movie Slumdog Millionaire. And one of the main points I want to make is that the movie is based in some reality, but not all of it. So people know India by Mumbai, they know India by Delhi, but we are in a really small town, about 4.5, 5 hours south of Mumbai. And the nature that you see here, the simplicity of life that you see here, is what we are trying to bring to the world through Nisarga, through New Axon in the US. And we want to portray India for the beauty and for the culture and the philosophy that we have when it comes to living with nature and using nature for the benefit of humankind, and then giving back to the nature so the cycle of life can continue as it has for thousands of years. And that is the philosophy that most manufacturers in India have, and that is what I would like to bring to the US audience. Plus, if you're on the fence, you should come and visit us. It's very simple. You're always welcome. Come visit us. We are a very transparent company when it comes to our operations, our processes, because everything is covered under our IP. So we are not afraid of showcasing our technology in a very bright light, because the more the people see it, the more they'll be aware, and the more beneficial it is for the entirety of mankind.
Yeah, and being an open book, now more than ever. We have, obviously in India, TikTok is banned, but in the US it's not. So the presence of direct-to-customer brands and brand owners, we want to win them over. We want them to come over. I had mentioned to you that one of my partners on a plant-based protein project that we're bringing to India, Mr. Taishan Bryant. Taishan, love you. Green Regimen India. It's really predicated on the idea that the brand owner came to India and fell in love with India. He didn't fall in love with one aspect of India. He fell in love with the imperfections of India.
Right.
He fell in love with the jagged edges of India, the things that don't make sense, the things that are illogical. But there's a harmony underneath the surface.
Right.
There's a peace of mind. People of all classes are living together side by side. I mean, obviously there's always going to be outliers, and there's always going to be elements that could be improved. But underneath the surface, there's a certain constant presence of prakriti,
Of course.
nature, and living with nature,
Exactly.
not against nature. That's what I heard from you today, and what I saw today was this investment in enriching from the agricultural business that started.
Right.
How do we enrich the soil? How do we help the farmers? This is a business that started helping farmers.
Exactly.
And since then, it's evolved now where you're now able to extract potent actives
Of course.
from plant extracts, and you also have your own finished brand
Yes.
here in India, which I think makes you an interesting candidate for ideation.
Of course.
So brand owners who may not have their own research lab, you may not be able to get everything you need from ChatGPT. You may not get everything you need from online resources, but you have a fully staffed R&D center.
Yes.
And secret weapon, you married a secret weapon, is that correct? You want to
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the expertise that's on the
Of
your better
course.
half?
So my wife is an Ayurvedic doctor, and she's the head formulator and also the face of Nisarga Herbs,
Yeah.
which is our D2C brand in India. We have about 65 products that cover all the conditions from head to toe. And then we also have a few topical products and toothpaste. So basically, the reason why we started with development was not a fluke. When my dad built the first 5-liter machine, it was all about experimentation. So once our requirement for botanicals for the agricultural side was fulfilled, we did not want to let the machine sit idle. So he started doing R&D with any and every botanical he could find. And then he started standardizing the processes to get the actives or standardize the extracts to some parameter. And when we took that set of extracts to the US, we started with the aromology and the perfumery industry. And people didn't know what to do. Like if something smells nice, you know you want it in a perfume to this degree to get a specialized blend. But when we entered the nutraceutical or the cosmetic industry, people had no clue what to do with these extracts. And so it was basically the industry that forced us to start doing product development, where we could give a finished form of product as an example to brand owners or to companies that were looking to develop finished products, that this is the extract, this is what a finished product made with the extract could look like, and then we could change it as per their requirements and then develop a finished product. So that way we have developed about 450 products in the last 25 years of operations.
Yeah, I think so. Very, very true to the you go beyond spirit. I go beyond, you go beyond. The idea that you've done more than just become a manufacturing facility. You're the bedrock of ideation. You're allowing for innovation to continue to happen. So brand owners really don't have to carry the full burden of that. Brand owners have a tough enough job having to market and sell product in a very competitive landscape. So, even good products have a hard time being sold.
Of course.
So having a strong back end, a strong science back end, is invaluable. So these are the basics. I think today's podcast, we're going to limit it because Mr. Uday Gosaya is exhausted. So, but my man Devendra, I got to give you a lot of love. You are an amazing
so
host.
Thank you.
And honestly, I feel 100% better just in the last 20 minutes talking to you. This fresh air, this environment, I would invite anybody and everyone who is in the dietary supplement wellness space, direct brand owners, formulation scientists, thought leaders, visit Satara. Let's get together. Let's have some reasons to come here. Let's challenge this guy. He's the future steward of this industry. Him and the likes of others that are under the age of, I'm not going to tell everyone how old you are, but how young you are.
I have an open profile on LinkedIn, so they would know anyways.
Nonetheless, it's important. It's important that we invest in the ones that are doing things the right way. You know, my greatest privilege in this career has been being able to meet youngsters like you, strong companies like the one your dad has built, and then being able to tell people about it, bringing it to the forefront of the conversation. We shouldn't let what's been successful stay successful. We should continue to challenge these norms, challenge the status quo. You know, there's people out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars marketing their product. My point is, if it's so good, you don't got to spend that much money. And that might be controversial, and that might be inciting backlash, because who the heck am I to say that? But let's just use logic. Like, if you're really that good, then you don't really got to spend that much money. Let's let the quality speak for itself.
Of course.
All right, brother.
Forward to it.
Listen,
Thank
appreciate you, man. This is the
you
Keep
so
Rising
much.
Pod. Again, this is Devendra, Soman, Nisarga Biotech, and New
Axon Bioscience.
And that's going to be booth 641 on the first floor.
Yes.
Upcoming Supply Side Global in Las Vegas. Let's see you there.